Partly cloudy overhead, warm and muggy. We had a little rain this afternoon, but the field was covered, so that shouldn't be an issue. I know John Gruden really enjoyed the solar eclipse today. And another boot out of the end zone for Gonzalez. We have done that routinely. Featured running back when the season begins for the Giants. They've struggled to run the ball in recent years, and that's the case on the first play from scrimmage as Perkins gets nothing. Ran into Jamar Taylor. So Eli goes into the gun. Perkins is a good receiver out of the backfield, but he gets wrapped up and taken down by Jamar Taylor right away. Shane Vereen, a third down back on the field for the Giants, and Manning is sacked back inside the 20-yard line. So a great start for this Cleveland defense. So Jabril Peppers back for the punt from Brad Wing. Good kick. Peppers has plenty of room as he fields it at the 30. Jabril Peppers across the 40, across midfield and out of bounds. At the 40-yard line of New York, they're going to spot it at the 39. Duke Johnson gets the start at tailback. They're without Isaiah Crowell, their leading rusher from a year ago. Second-round pick next year to take Brock Osweiler, and that's really what Cleveland wanted. Flag down as Johnson weaved his way ahead for a yard. John, the thought was they might release Osweiler.
Offense number 70, 10-yard penalty replay, second down.
Kevin Zeitler, much of camp, but Osweiler supplanted him. High throw and the catch made near sideline by Kenny Britt. Giants show blitz. They rush 5. Osweiler hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. There is a flag down in the secondary after he delivered the throw.
Illegal contact, defense number 90. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Jason Pierre-Paul called for the Giants penalty. First and 10 Cleveland. Again a 5-man rush. Osweiler, a high throw, and the catch made along the boundary for a 9-yard gain. 6 games with the broken hand, had just 33 catches. They expect a lot more. Duke Johnson surges ahead for the first down to the 21, tackled by Jay Bromley. Much improved in every area last year after spending a lot of money on defense and free agency. Osweiler after the fake, and it's a loss on the play. And movement before the snap. False start. They had a problem with that last week.
Offense number 78, 5-yard penalty, second down.
On defense for Goodson last year. Did play on special teams. Osweiler's pass batted in the air and intercepted by Jason Pierre-Paul.
He did, and he played 94% of the snaps with that broken hand. But it's not just the sacks. It's the disruption. The tackles for loss, the batted passes, and his partner in crime is Jason Pierre-Paul, who just signed a 4-year, $62 million deal.
3 wide receivers spread the field. That was their standard formation almost all of last year. Short throw to the tight end, Evan Ingram out of Ole Miss. Deep handoff, Perkins trying to turn the corner and cannot. He's swung across the boundary by Christian Kirksey.
In one-on-one situations.
Shane Vereen, their third down back, is in. Here comes a Greg Williams blitz and a long throw through the hands of Brandon Marshall.
No.
And they throw a flag at the end of it.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. There is no foul. For a personal foul, unnecessary roughness.
You know, I like John Perry, this white hat down here. Oh, he still remembers it.
He said it went way over the center field fence, by the way. I didn't know he had that kind of power. Wing another punt. And here's another chance for Jabril Peppers. Much better coverage this time by the New York Giants. First place, hosting the first place Boston Red Sox. Duke Johnson
You all right?
slices ahead for a 3-yard gain. They've been impressed by Osweiler's leadership, by his personality, love of the game. There's no doubt he has talent. The question is, can he ever be consistent? So when you saw it come across the bottom line of ESPN, you're like, that doesn't seem to be right. But that's how much Houston wanted to be rid of
being every down back, but I sure like him.
Osweiler deep down the middle and a high throw. Intended for David Njoku. Bunch formation to the right. And they swing it out quickly to the right. That's Njoku. And he was tackled very quickly by Landon Collins. 3rd and 9, Browns from their own 40. No score in the first quarter. Osweiler, a good athlete at 6'8". Basketball prospect. Here's Britton Colquitt. As you saw, he had the best net punting season with good coverage in the history of the Cleveland Browns. High kick and a fair catch made by the rookie Dante Dion. McAdoo believes both of these tackles under scrutiny. Flowers and Hart are improving. Wobbly throw, but the catch made. First down. 21-yard gain. They fake the inside handoff to Perkins. A little screen for Odell Beckham Jr. He gets chopped out of bounds after making the first man miss. Score. Under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Paul Perkins, he got bounced around. It's been a hard-hitting Cleveland defense so far. On 3rd and 4, just a 4-man rush. Manning off the hands of his intended receiver. Browns felt like they might have picked it off, but it's ruled an incomplete pass. Punter out of LSU, former teammate there of Odell Beckham Jr. They are good buddies. They actually watched the clips together at the Giants Hotel in downtown Cleveland. Peppers off to the races again. And chopped down as he crossed the 45-yard line by Darian Thompson. There is a flag down.
During the kick, holding, number 56, return team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First up.
Big penalty, Deion King.
They wanted to get Kaiser in early to let him play with more of the starters. Duke Johnson bounced it outside, delivers a stiff arm, and goes out of bounds with a first down. He shoved Michael Hunter away. There is a flag down near where Duke Johnson turned the corner.
Holding, offense, number 18, half the distance to the goal, replay, first down.
They're 3rd in the league in balloting for Defensive Player of the Year behind Khalil Mack and Von Miller. Kaiser out of the end zone, throws it away. Running back, rookie out of NC State, 7th round pick, trying to make the team. He's had an excellent camp. They're trying to set up a screen to him, and it's a 1-yard gain. Mitchell Trubisky, Patrick Mahomes, and Deshaun Watson, the quarterback picked ahead of him. Shovel pass to Days, and he's run down from behind, well short of the first down yardage. Position, Dante Dion standing at his own 45-yard line. From the 43, Dion has no running room, very well covered. 5 Eastern. Eli Manning, the flip to Sterling Shepard, and he got flipped in the air by Joe Schobert. Here, but a great chance, as you said, John, to be in there on their base defense. Orleans Darkwa, the new running back, looked like he tripped over some of his teammates. Show for it, the 4 field goals in their loss to Pittsburgh in the Meadowlands in their preseason opener. A blitz and a Manning throw. Odell Beckham Jr. taken across the sideline by Jason McCourty. Yard gain for the first down. They're at the Cleveland 42. Orleans Darkwa was the tailback. Manning wide open. Beckham and then chopped down. Boy, Giant fans have to take a deep breath when they see that hit, and Beckham didn't like it. He spun the ball. He was heading to the locker room. Giants on the move. 1st and 10 of the 24. Sterling Shepard with a lot of room as he made the catch. 2nd and 6. Manning low throw, and Shepard could not come up with it. Eli 7 out of 10 for 69 yards. 4-man rush on 3rd and 6. That pass deflected and almost intercepted. Between the veteran Mike Nugent, who's taking this attempt, and the rookie Aldrich Rosas. It has been as tight as can be. Pressure on every kick, and the veteran Nugent.
Him play as this game unfolds.
Mike Nugent kicks off. No chance for Jabril Peppers to bring it back. Masters have Lom, how we pronounce that? Kaiser comes out throwing, fires a strike to Corey Coleman off a fine performance against New Orleans. In about a quarter, 11 out of 18. Look out, he had no chance there. Welcome to the NFL, says Jason Pierre-Paul.
Had a touchdown.
The Giants won here in November last season. They had 7 sacks as a team, their season high. Kaiser after the 12-yard loss. Lito. Given time this time, but running out of time and sacked again. Olivier Vernon got there from behind. And had some help from Romeo Okwara. There is a flag down in the secondary.
Against the New York Giants. 3 hitches is not going to cut it.
Defense, number 93, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
But the penalty gives them a first down at their own 46. 10.5 to go in the half. And I think the play clock ran out.
Delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Hugh Jackson, as you saw, the head coach calls the plays, as does Ben McAdoo for the Giants. Matt Days across midfield. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie took him down. Second and 5. Kaiser wanted a quick throw, couldn't find anybody. There's his athleticism. He did not slide. He got popped. 12-yard gain. And another procedural penalty against the Browns.
Offense number 78.
Well, Lisa, we saw Odell Beckham Jr. down. On 1st and 15. Kaiser taken down. The rush just blew through Duke Johnson. Is put together, as they say. He walks in the room, you know he's a football player, 242 pounds out of Clemson. Duke Johnson down at the line of scrimmage, flag down almost at his feet as he hit the deck.
Boy, another holding call.
Holding, offense number 70, 10-yard penalty, replay, second down. Monday.
They brought J.C. Treader over from Green Bay to be the safety. Gave him $17 million over 3 years. Deshaun Kaiser on the run, threw it up for grabs and is lucky to get away with that one.
Nobody plays 94% of the plays at that position.
Britton Colquitt punts. And Dante D on the fair catch. Run. Been a problem for years now. 1 yard rushing on 5 carries. There's plenty of running room for Paul Perkins. All the way out across the 20 to the 21-yard line and a first down for New York. High formation with Shane Smith, the fullback. Perkins following him. Ellison went in motion. The tight end, good blocker. They think he'll help the run game. Not much of a pass receiver, but he has one now. Shirt tackle by Schobert. Green missed 11 games with 2 tricep injuries. Plenty of time for Manning, and the catch made, and just enough for the first down for Sterling Shepard as he got upended by Joe Hayden. Just did get the play off, and Eli Manning, a lot of communication, 3-0. Quick pop again to Shepard, second-year man out of Oklahoma. It looked like the ball got ripped away from him. Will they give it to the Browns? Yes, they will. Jason McCourty, the veteran, pulled it away from Sterling Shepard.
Like they're still sorting this out.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't down. I think you could make the argument his forward progress had been stopped. But it is Cleveland's ball. Kaiser gets them right over the ball. And there's Johnson trying to deliver a stiff arm. B.J. Goodson wrote him down at the 25-yard line.
The summer tutoring him, helping him read his keys.
He's been a coaching intern with the Giants, Antonio Pierce. They fake the screen one way and throw it the other way. Danny Vitale, a fullback, lowers his shoulder and has a first and goal at the 8-yard line. And here comes Johnson, ran his own man at the 1-yard line, or might have scored. Sean Kaiser's provided a spark. High formation, Duke Johnson, the tailback. He leaps for the goal line and no signal of a touchdown. They're going to mark him inches short. On 3rd and goal, Kaiser using his big frame, 6'4", 233 pounds for a Cleveland touchdown.
The ex-Green Bay Packer and Kevin Zeitler at right guard run right behind the push. Pad level, low man wins on the goal line.
Spending time in the locker room, at practice, away from the field, because if you're going to be the quarterback of the team and be the team leader, it helps a lot if you know the personalities of the way by the Browns defense. Cody Parkey kicks off. And that battle with Zane Gonzalez to be the starting kicker. So every kickoff and place kick. And Geno Smith is now at quarterback, so Eli Manning's night is over. Shane Vereen weaves his way for an 8-yard gain. By the Giants in the offseason after 4 seasons with the Jets. He's on target. Devin Ingram, who has the first down.
In this 2-minute drill.
Inside handoff. Shane Vereen gets about 8 more.
Wasting time.
Look out. Myles Garrett makes his presence known with a sack. And no timeout call. This will be the last play of the half. And Marshall, his first catch of the night. Giants kick off to begin the second half. Mike Nugent kicked it. Mario Alford is returning and not very far. Excellent coverage. Rookie out of Notre Dame. 1st and 10 for Cleveland from the 11-yard line. Duke Johnson is the tailback. He slid out to the 15 and that sort of thing. And he has promised to have far fewer histrionics on and off the field. Rashard Higgins, nice run after the catch. Nearly slipped down.
Down and Higgins, a second-year man, delivers.
Johnson. Here, Terrell Pryor was the leading receiver a year ago. He went to Washington. Gary Barnidge, the tight end, was let go. He was their second receiver. Low throw, incomplete.
Okay, Ligon.
Kaiser 5 out of 8 for 49 yards. Throws intercepted. Picked off on the near sideline. There is a flag down on the play. Special teams player.
It's a bad decision, Sean.
Defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down. Cleveland.
A lot of running around by Higgins, the wide receiver. They're trying to set up a screen to the near side. Days breaks a tackle and lunges across the boundary about 3 yards short of the first down. Kaiser, the keeper, and he did a dance with his former Notre Dame teammate Romeo Okwara for muscle injury. Okwara spent time this offseason in Las Vegas working out with the Navy SEAL. First down run for Matt Days. New York blitzes. Kaiser has a man open, and it's a bit too high. Njoku, the tight end, got a hand on it. 2nd and 10, 4 minutes gone by. Second half, Cleveland leads 7-3. Another design run for the quarterback. 11-yard run. He has 35 yards rushing on 5 carries. There's Jordan Payton on an end around. He gets blasted by Calvin Munson. It also pitched 1 year in 2015 for the Aztec baseball team. Kaiser looked down the field and swung it wide. Matt Days, nice move in space. He's going to make the team. Kaiser to Days. NC State beat Notre Dame in Raleigh last year in a driving rainstorm, part of that awful 4-8 season for the Fighting Irish. How about Days spinning his way to the 20-yard line with another 8-yard pickup. Second-year running back out of LSU, came over as a free agent from Seattle. Very little time in the NFL carrying the ball, and that carry goes for a loss of a yard. Offers took the St. Louis Rams job. That didn't go well. Then struggled in New Orleans. Struggled at the beginning when he came back to the New York Giants.
Gonzalez out of Arizona State.
Coaches say this battle is just about dead even. They said one of the kickers is slightly ahead of the other, but they didn't say 6 career FBS records, including most field goals made at the highest level of college football. 96 career field goals for the Aztecs. Excuse me, for the
thing would be.
We can report he did pass his first Larry Ogunjobi test of the night, and it's Geno Smith at quarterback, and the handoff to Orleans Darkwa.
And then as you get Kaiser, I think Kaiser's looked really good, especially moving the ball with his legs, and then obviously through the air as well.
Darkwa again with the carry.
Minute situation.
From their own 37. Smith, the crossing route, and the catch is made by Matt Lacoste, the tight end.
Get in that kind of, that mentality, with his guys.
Off the play action. Smith will drop it off to Will Tye, and it's another first down pickup. The stiff arm by Tye at the tail end of the play. Play action again on first down, and Smith was hit as he tried to deliver.
He'll have guys standing up when they get to the real game.
Smith out into the flat, and it's incomplete. Rudolph could not hang on. And tonight are the Giants on third down.
There you go.
Catch is made to the 40 by Tye, but that will be about 5 yards short. Geno with the protection, and he's got the first down throw. Again, quick to the outside. Tavares King. He'll pick up about 8 more, wrapped up and thrown down by Curry. Second and 3, and caught in the backfield and thrown for a loss is Darkwa.
Plays, and you see it right there.
Third and 5 from the 29. Smith rifles it to the outside again, incomplete. His battle with Mike Nugent for the starting job.
He drilled
and he's got it.
Any time in a kicking competition.
And you saw Nugent clapping for Rosas when he made the kick. Nice sportsmanship there. Ben McAdoo did say what Rex Ryan said, that all things being equal, they would probably take the younger guy. Rosas, Mario Alford, weaving 65.6% of his passes. That is the Browns rookie record for completion percentage. He also set the Brown rookie record for passer rating. His first snap is a handoff to Matt Days. There is a flag down, and it's a holding call against Cleveland.
Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Let's see where he is.
Days again. Fights his way out to the 12-yard line.
This young man has some talent. He has some production, as you said. Just needs some confidence.
He's on target to Seth DeValve, the backup tight end out of Princeton. Him in the NFL, you think?
I think it's slim right now, but I'm still not going to give up hope. But that's a tough list to look at. Not only that, Sean, is everybody's excited about Kaiser.
Great football community. That's been tough to watch. They've won 31% of their games since the rebirth of the franchise. By far the worst winning percentage in the league over that span. Travis Rudolph.
That hasn't been solved yet.
Not only has Eli Manning played 199 straight games, but he's played virtually every snap of those games. Smith runs out of bounds after the pass fake. in sports that won't be broken. 297 straight starts by Brett Favre. Seems pretty safe.
Yes, it does.
Wayne Gallman, we were just wondering where he's been.
Same, it's a game, but what parallels can you draw between the two?
Well, it's about trust between each other. It's about building the characteristics you want, such as physical and mental toughness. It's about resiliency. It's important that we give them alternatives. They start with flag football, they go to rookie football, and then they can go to tackle. Football is a good sport for young people to develop themselves for the future. And so I think
Odierno was running the U.S. Army. Went and spent time with troops overseas. I had a chance to have dinner with General Odierno in March in Arizona when the league meetings were out there with John Harbaugh. General Odierno, who are getting the message out of all the great things about playing football.
You know, Sean, there is some fear. There's no doubt. But there's also a lot of kids that just don't want to play because they're playing video games.
A nice sequence during this drive. Giants at least in field goal range, but they're down by 4. Geno Smith avoids the sack. Got it off, and it's dropped by Gallman.
The award that he ever won was the most improved award, and that set this guy on fire. He became a great player, but the lessons that he learned saved his life of football. Let's tell some good stories about the game once in a while.
Amen. There's Gallman on the run again.
With him.
Second down and 9, trying to set up a screen. Here's Gallman with blockers out in front. And it's a first down. And that's when Eli took over. Gallman's accounted for 39 yards on this drive. Now it's Geno Smith lobbing it out of bounds. Threw it away in the general direction of Roger Lewis. New York Giants. Gallman back in. And they give it to him up the middle. Breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Well earned. 4 yards. Tyrone Holmes had a chance to get it. Started as a linebacker at the beginning of his career and transitioned to wide receiver. Geno Smith pulls it down and throws an interception. Bree and Body Calhoun. There is a flag down on the play. In fact, there are 2 of them near the goal line on the near side of the field.
It's off. This is an all-out blitz.
Offense number 6. Penalties decline.
They check out of the blitz. They convert it from man to zone, and Geno Smith completely fooled. And once again, in a crunch time situation.
Who was called for that offensive pass interference. So the takeaway for the Browns, the Giants have still not scored a touchdown in the preseason. And Cody Kessler's on target to Rennell Hall with a 12-yard gain.
Much from Josh Johnson or Geno Smith in these first 2 preseason games.
Whoop, high handoff. Terrence McGee never took the handoff from Kessler.
Delivered high around the neck.
Oh,
ball fell out of his hands. That can't help Cody Kessler, a young quarterback who is looking.
Ben McAdoo seemed to indicate to us yesterday, John, that Johnson might have the advantage because there's a familiarity in the system, and then they can't execute the handoff. Gallman didn't get it, and Dominique Alexander takes it off the ground for Cleveland.
Neither quarterback can hand the ball off. Looked like Gallman didn't clamp it.
I wonder if he was expecting. So Kessler bailed out as the Giants hand it back. Terrence McGee, the running back, out to the 15-yard line.
For offensive coordinators, but tonight the audible system has backfired, and both offensives have struggled because of it.
Good tackle out in the flat. Any team in the NFL. Kessler takes off running, has a first down, and goes out of bounds after he crossed the 20.
Another week.
He's coming across.
This is their last home game of the preseason. They've opened with 2. McGee has another first down. John, what is the reasonable expectation?
Positions. Hard to expect a lot more, but I do like the improvement I've seen tonight.
McGee.
Half of the team changes every year. You need a few games.
Limitations in practice time. Very few reps for players who need them. Rennell Hall wrestled out of bounds. Flag down on the play. Blake made the tackle again for New York.
Holding. Defense number 29. Penalties declined. Results of the play, first down.
Made some plays, moved the ball a little bit, but just couldn't put some things together to finish some drives.
It's been a tough night for your receivers. What can you tell us about Odell Beckham?
And, just your maintenance on staying healthy, being out with these guys, and and being around these young guys. They keep me young. They keep me fresh, and always teaching and learning and trying to get better. Preparing for games, playing in games, being out here with my buddies, and that's why I work hard so I can keep playing at a high level.
Thank you, Eli. Have a great season. Sean.
Good throw by Kessler. Good catch by Alford. They started the first game of the season. Kevin Hogan is the new quarterback now. Fourth of the night. He may decide he'd prefer to be on the sideline after he got belted. Maybe he's working his way back into the mix. It seemed like he was out of it and was going to be the Osweiler or Kaiser to start the year. Who knows? Hogan out of Stanford, where he won more games as a starting quarterback than any other. Matt Days. Well, who would it be? I mean, I know they have 2 more games. Josh McCown, RG3 last year, and then who knows who this year. Osweiler or Kaiser, probably. Hogan in trouble. Looked like his knee was down. No whistle. And he got it off. There's a late flag down as J.P. Holtz runs down to the 25-yard line. Games when he was at
Pass
Stanford.
interference, offense number 88. 10-yard penalty, replay, fourth down.
Holtz, who wound up catching the pass. Hogan is tough.
Yes, he is.
Quit. And out of bounds near the 15-yard line. Earlier hasn't thrown a pass in a regular season game since 2011. But he's still hanging in there, battling to make a team. They're trying to screen it. And Khalid Abdullah goes nowhere against the Detroit Lions. Week 2 from MetLife Stadium. Josh Johnson throws to the far side. Catch made by Travis Rudolph, who's immediately wrestled down.
Yard routes aren't going to get it done. They're going to have to push it eventually.
3rd down and 4. Flag down. A little lob over the middle. Abdullah yanked down again by Alvin Hill.
Illegal shift. Offense. 5-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
Not in the 2-minute drill with the chance to win the game.
3rd down and 9. Johnson jumps it off. It's dropped by Khalid Abdullah. There's a blitz from Greg Williams, and the pass is incomplete.
Yes, he is.
So Hogan takes a knee, and the Giants do not have any timeouts remaining. So Cleveland's going to go to 2-0 in the preseason, and the Giants will fall to 0-2 and still without a touchdown.
And each other. I think they're as good as any duo in the league.
Hogan takes another knee, and that'll do it. Hugh Jackson trying to give these fans reason for hope and optimism. Don't think either coach would be thrilled with the offense tonight. They called the plays, but there were some bright spots on each side, including Deshaun Kaiser, the quarterback out of Notre Dame.